There is something deeply disturbing as well as revealing about the latest advisory issued by the Union Ministry of Home Affairs. The ministry has asked states to stay alert after military strikes involving Israel, the United States, and Iran. Now, pause here and think. India is not at war. India did not authorize those strikes. In fact, India maintains diplomatic relations with all three countries. So then, why does our government anticipate unrest inside India? The question is uncomfortable, but it must be asked because it reveals something deeper than geopolitics. It reveals something about culture. Hello and welcome to the narrative now. My name is Sudanshu Sharma. Today, the Indian state is acting preventively, which is its duty. Because if intelligence inputs suggest even a small possibility of unrest, the government must act before disorder begins, not after it spreads. Preventive vigilance is not paranoia, it is governance. But here is the deeper issue. Why should events thousands of kilometers away generate even the possibility of violence here? Why should something that India neither caused nor controls create tension on Indian streets? And the answer is ideology. India's civilizational journey eventually evolved into constitutional nationalism. After centuries of invasion, colonization, reform, struggle, and the freedom movement, we built a republic where faith is personal, rights are constitutional, and political allegiance is territorial. In India, you're free to worship as you wish. You are free to criticize the government. You are free to protest peacefully. But your loyalty must be to the republic. That is the Bharatiya model. However, not all political cultures across the world evolved in the same direction. Some political ideologies blur the line between faith and geopolitics. They cultivate emotional allegiance that transcends national borders. They encourage the idea that a conflict in a distant capital is not merely foreign news, but a personal political injury. And when that mindset enters a democracy like India, it creates friction. But let's be honest, the overwhelming majority of citizens across communities do not respond to foreign conflicts with violence. They debate, they express solidarity, they argue on television and on social media. That is normal in a free society. But small ideological fringes sometimes operate differently. They do not see the nation state as the highest political unit. They see a larger ideological or theological identity as superior to territorial nationalism. And that is where the state must draw the line. When minorities were attacked in neighboring Bangladesh some months ago, India did not witness retaliatory chaos on its streets. There was outrage, there were discussions, there were demands for accountability, but there was no campaign of domestic destabilization. Why? Because cultural pain did not convert into political disorder. Because in Bharatiya culture, nationalism ultimately takes precedence. This is not about majority versus minority, it is about political maturity. India provides extraordinary freedoms. It gives its citizens space to follow their faith without fear, to build businesses, to pursue education, to speak their mind. Few societies in the world offer this scale of liberty with this level of diversity. But freedom does not and should not include importing foreign wars into Indian neighborhoods. Freedom does not include turning geopolitical tensions into domestic unrest. And when the state prepares for that possibility, it is not targeting a community, it is safeguarding sovereignty. But there is another dimension we must address: domestic politics. Whenever global tensions rise, there are always political actors who see opportunity. Polarization becomes currency, outrage becomes mobilization, electoral arithmetic begins to whisper in the background. That temptation must be resisted. Parties across the spectrum, including the Indian Congress, must understand that short term vote consolidation at the cost of long term social harmony is reckless. Communal mobilization cannot precede national loyalty. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. India's strength lies in a simple principle. You may disagree on policy, you may criticize the government, you may support or oppose foreign powers in debate, but you do not destabilize the republic that protects your rights. And if any ideology from anywhere in the world encourages you to prioritize a foreign political struggle over the constitutional order of India, then the issue is not with India's democracy, the issue is with that ideology. The Indian state has every right and every responsibility to ensure that global conflicts do not become domestic crises. That is not authoritarianism, that is sovereignty. Sovereignty is and will always be non negotiable. Because at the end of the day, the only flag that governs your rights, your freedoms, and your future is the Indian tricolor. Nothing can ever come above it. And that, my friends, is the narrative now. Jai Hind, Bharat Mata ki Jai.